So, that's the worst part of it. Or when you don't think your dad's proud of you, that's I knew that he was in other areas.
For over 50 years, Sam Elliott has been more than an actor, he's been an institution. There's that voice, like gravel rolling downhill, and that mustache, an icon all its own. He has that quiet, steely presence that can command a scene without a single word. He's the epitome of Hollywood cool, a throwback to an era when the work was everything and the noise was nothing. Sam Elliott built a career on authenticity, playing cowboys and lawmen who felt like they were carved from the very rock of the American West. In a town built on illusion, he always felt real, but what happens when that quiet professionalism gets pushed too far? For decades, Elliott was the consummate pro, keeping his opinions to himself. He smiled, tipped his hat, and moved on. But lately, internet whispers have become a roar. Rumors are swirling about a secret blacklist, a list of names he's supposedly kept for years. You've probably seen the headlines, claiming that at 80 years old, the legend is finally breaking his silence. They say he has a list of 6 actors he just could not stand working with. Is it true? Could the man who embodies old-school respect be holding on to these kinds of grudges? The internet sure seems to think so, with countless videos dissecting these supposed feuds, painting a picture of a man who feels the industry has lost its way. They talk about on-set meltdowns, clashing egos, and deep betrayals. Today, we're going to separate the fact from the fiction. We're counting down the 6 names that keep showing up on this so-called list and digging into why they're said to be there. We'll look at the interviews, check the records, and find out what really happened behind the scenes. So, who is on this blacklist? And more importantly, is it even real? The answers might change how you see some of Hollywood's biggest stars, and how you see Sam Elliott himself. To get to the bottom of these first rumored feuds, you have to understand the one principle Sam Elliott has built his life around: authenticity. For him, acting isn't about making a spectacle of yourself, it's about telling the truth. It's a quiet, disciplined craft, not a carnival of attention-seeking. And that's where the first group of names on the supposed hate list comes in: Jared Leto, Shia LaBeouf, and Tom Hardy. All 3 are known for their intense, sometimes controversial methods, representing a style of acting that seems to be the polar opposite of everything Elliott values. Let's start with Jared Leto. The rumors here are pretty wild. One of the most common claims is that Elliott was attached to a film, but when he found out Jared Leto had been cast, he just walked away. No drama, no public statement, just a quiet refusal to share the screen. The story goes that Elliott sees Leto's brand of method acting as a circus act. Leto is famous for his extremes. Sending rats to his Suicide Squad castmates or living as a blind man for Blade Runner 2049. To a guy like Sam Elliott, this isn't professional. It's a distraction. You can find videos and forum posts with supposed quotes from Elliott, with one rumor claiming he said, if he needs that much effort to act, maybe he's in the wrong profession. It's a sharp comment that perfectly captures the divide. For Elliott, the work is about serving the story, not the actor's ego. Shia LaBeouf and Tom Hardy often get thrown in here, too. LaBeouf, who was actually in the 2012 film The Company You Keep with Elliott, has a reputation for being unpredictable. While there are no credible reports of any clash between them on that set, the idea of a feud fits the narrative. The same goes for Tom Hardy, who is famous for his intense, physically demanding performances. The rumors suggest his aggressive energy would have been a direct conflict with Elliott's more grounded approach, but this is where you have to separate a good story from the truth. The idea of Sam Elliott, the last real cowboy, turning his back on modern method acting is powerful, but it's a story built almost entirely on speculation. There are no credible, on-the-record interviews where Sam Elliott has ever said a bad word about Jared Leto, Shia LaBeouf, or Tom Hardy. The quotes attributed to him are found in sensationalized YouTube videos and unverified articles. The story about him walking off a project because of Leto has never been confirmed. So, is the hatred real? The evidence says no. What is likely real is a difference in philosophy. Sam Elliott comes from a school of thought where you show up, know your lines, and respect the crew. The public personas of actors like Leto and LaBeouf represent something else entirely. So while Elliott has never publicly named them, it's fair to assume he probably doesn't approve of their methods. The feud seems to be a fabrication, a clash of generations, not a clash of people. The next name on the supposed list is maybe the most surprising, and for a lot of fans, the most heartbreaking: Jeff Bridges. For years, the bond between Sam Elliott and Jeff Bridges seemed like one of the most genuine friendships in Hollywood. Their classic movie, The Big Lebowski, gave us the unforgettable dynamic between Elliott's wise stranger and Bridges' laid-back dude. Their chemistry felt real because, by all accounts, it was so. Where on earth did a rumor about a feud come from? Unlike the stories about method actors, this one isn't about a fight on set. It's a quieter, sadder story about a friendship that supposedly just faded away. The online narrative goes that after Bridges won his Oscar for Crazy Heart, he started to change, embracing the glitz and glamour of Hollywood and leaving behind the grounded man Elliott knew. One video claims that Elliott hinted at this in an interview, saying, "Some folks change, others just show who they always were," a comment that was immediately interpreted as a shot at Bridges. The story suggests Elliott felt a quiet sense of disappointment, not out of jealousy, but out of a feeling of being left behind. But once again, let's look at the actual evidence. The reality is, there is no feud between Sam Elliott and Jeff Bridges. In fact, everything points to the exact opposite: a deep, lasting respect and friendship. In February 2023, both actors were at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, sitting at the same table. Far from being awkward, Elliott spoke warmly about their reunion to Entertainment Tonight, saying, "I'm sitting with Jeff at the table and I haven't seen Jeff in quite a time. I'm really happy to be with him." Those are not the words of a man holding a grudge, their mutual admiration goes back decades. Director Rod Lurie even cast them together in the 2000 film The Contender specifically because he loved their dynamic in The Big Lebowski. Elliott himself has credited The Big Lebowski with saving him from being typecast and opening up his career. The rumor about a feud with Jeff Bridges is probably the most harmful one, because it takes a genuinely positive friendship and twists it into a story of betrayal. The truth is simple: they are two Hollywood veterans who were, by all recent accounts, happy to see each other. The feud is pure fiction. This is where things get a little more complicated. The supposed feud between Sam Elliott and Kevin Costner gets right to the heart of Elliott's identity, the American Western. This isn't just a rumored clash of personalities, it's a clash over how the West should be shown on screen. With Elliott starring in the Yellowstone prequel Star 1883 star and Costner as the anchor of the main Yellowstone universe, the idea that these two are at odds is explosive. The rumor mill claims that Elliott sees Costner's show as an inauthentic bastardization of the genre he loves. Stories have circulated that Elliott thinks of Costner as a Hollywood cowboy, too polished and clean. A supposed quote that gets passed around has Elliott telling a friend that Costner plays a rancher like it's dress up, he's cosplaying something he doesn't truly understand. The peak of this rumor is the claim that Elliott was offered a role in Yellowstone but turned it down out of contempt for the show and its star, calling it a soap opera with a cowboy hat. So, is any of this true? The answer is a mix of fact, exaggeration, and straight-up fiction. Unlike the other names on the list, there is a grain of truth here, but it's been blown way out of proportion. Here's what is true. In a 2022 interview on the WTF with Marc Maron podcast, Sam Elliott did say, clearly, that he is not a fan of Yellowstone. He told Maron, "I'm not a Yellowstone fan. I don't watch Yellowstone. It's just too much like FNG Dallas or something, for me." So yes, he did compare it to a glossy 80s soap opera. It's also true that he turned down a role in Yellowstone before eventually accepting the lead in the prequel, 1883. But context is everything. In that exact same interview, while criticizing the show, Elliott went out of his way to praise its star. He said, "I love Costner. There are a lot of good people on the cast. Nothing against any of them. This is the key piece of information the feud peddlers always leave out." Elliott's criticism was aimed at the show's style, not at Kevin Costner personally. His problem was with what he saw as a melodramatic tone, not with the man in the lead role. So, there's no evidence of a personal feud. Elliott has publicly said he admires Costner. The War Over the West is a dramatic invention built on something simple, an actor having a specific artistic taste. Elliott likes his westerns dusty and real. He finds Yellowstone to be a glossy soap opera. That's a difference in opinion, not a declaration of war. The quotes about Costner cosplaying are completely unsubstantiated. The truth is much less dramatic. Sam Elliott doesn't like Yellowstone, but he has nothing against Kevin Costner. We're halfway through the list of actors Sam Elliott supposedly can't stand, and so far, the rumors are falling apart. But the most explosive name is still to come, the one conflict that actually did become a public spectacle. What are your thoughts so far? Is Sam Elliott a man holding quiet grudges, or is he just the victim of internet rumors? Let us know in the comments. And if you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell, because you won't want to miss what's next. Up to this point, we've been debunking myths. We've pulled back the curtain on the sensationalism to find that the hate list is mostly fiction. But now we get to the one name on the list where the conflict was very real, very public, and very intense: Jane Campion. This wasn't a quiet disagreement. It was a genuine war of words that played out on one of Hollywood's biggest stages, pitting the old-school cowboy against the visionary director. The flashpoint was Campion's 2021 film, The Power of the Dog, a complex and critically acclaimed Western that earned 12 Oscar nominations. But where critics saw a masterpiece, Sam Elliott saw an attack on the genre he had dedicated his life to. And, in a move that was completely out of character, he said so, bluntly, on Marc Maron's WTF podcast. When Maron asked if he'd seen the film, Elliott shot back, "You want to talk about that piece of S?" It was a shocking start. He went on to criticize the film's portrayal of cowboys, famously comparing them to Chippendales dancers who are all running around in chaps and no shirts. He also took issue with the allusions to homosexuality throughout the FNG movie. Elliott's criticism went deeper than costumes. It was a rejection of the film's entire perspective. He specifically called out Campion, a director from New Zealand, questioning what she knew about the American West. What the F? Does this woman from down there, New Zealand, know about the American West? He asked. And why in the F does she shoot this movie in New Zealand and call it Montana? And say, "This is the way it was?" So that FNG rubbed me the wrong way, pal. He said he took the film's evisceration of the American myth personally. The backlash was instant. The media exploded. Supporters of the film and its star, Benedict Cumberbatch, called Elliott's comments misogynistic and homophobic. Jane Campion herself responded directly at the Directors Guild of America Awards, saying, "I think Sam. He was being a little bit of a b." She added, "He's not a cowboy, he's an actor. And the West is a mythic space. I think it's a little bit sexist. He sees me as a woman or something lesser first. And I don't appreciate that." This was it. The feud was real and it was raw. But then, something remarkable happened. Sam Elliott did what very few public figures ever do. He apologized. During a promotional event, he looked straight at the cameras and delivered a full, heartfelt mea culpa. He said, "I wasn't very articulate about it. I said some things that hurt people, and I feel terrible about that. He specifically apologized to the film's cast and to the gay community, saying, "The gay community has been incredible to me my entire career. I'm sorry that I hurt any of those friends, by the words that I used." It was a powerful moment of humility. He admitted his words caused pain and he took full responsibility. In many ways, that apology was more in character for Sam Elliott than the original outburst. This story isn't about hate. It's about passion, a flawed reaction, and ultimately, accountability. It's the one piece of truth in a sea of rumors, and it's far more human than any fictional blacklist could ever be. So, after looking at the rumors, the interviews, and the facts, is there a secret list of 6 actors Sam Elliott hates? The answer is clearly no. The blacklist is an invention, a story cooked up for clicks. One by one, the names on the list just don't hold up. The rumored feuds with the method actors are pure speculation. The story of a lost friendship with Jeff Bridges is directly contradicted by their own warm reunions. The war with Kevin Costner was really just a difference in taste over a TV show, not a personal attack. The only verifiable conflict was with Jane Campion. And that story, the only true one, actually proves the whole hate list idea wrong. It wasn't a quiet grudge, it was a passionate, public argument, which was followed by a sincere public apology. That's not what someone nursing secret hatreds does. It's what someone who made a mistake and owned it does. What this all really shows is a portrait of an artist who is deeply committed to his principles. Sam Elliott's career is a testament to his belief in authenticity, professionalism, and a real love for the American West. The internet took that passion and twisted it into a story about feuds because conflict sells. But the truth is far more interesting. Sam Elliott isn't a man defined by who he hates. He's a man defined by what he loves, a certain way of telling stories, a certain way of working, and a certain kind of truth. The blacklist is just a myth. The man is just an original. What do you think? Were you surprised by the truth behind these Hollywood rumors? Who else have you heard about in the world of celebrity feuds that you'd like us to look into? Drop your thoughts and suggestions in the comments section below. We read every one. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and, most importantly, subscribe to the channel for more stories you only think you know. Thanks for watching.